Hey everyone, welcome back to the Neon Arcade. If you guys aren't aware, CD Projekt Red just wrapped up their frame-by-frame series where they take a still frame from the 2018 E3 trailer and give us some good details and background information about the universe of Cyberpunk 2077. There are 13 brief episodes in total, so for today's video we're going to be going through all of the first 5 of them and we'll give some of our brief thoughts at the end of each episode. Also, make sure you guys keep your eyes out for part 2 and part 3 that'll be uploaded on my channel in the next coming weeks. Let's get started. Welcome to 2077. For every colorful individual in Night City, there's a colorful story, and nearly every slice of the 2018 E3 trailer tells a story of its own. This trailer is a product of the dedication and hard work from our CD Projekt Red team, and is based on concept art we've developed over the years. Every scene is rendered in-engine and offers a brief glimpse into the lives of Night City residents. Night City is a free city located within the free state of North California. While still technically on American soil, the city falls completely outside of state and national legal jurisdiction. Here, the corporations are in charge. Over the years, the city has been fractured by various corporate conflicts and gang wars. Those caught between are often left desperately trying to make ends meet and survive the riots and violence that rage throughout the streets. Night City was founded by tech giant and visionary Richard Knight. He envisioned a perfect city that would stand as a monument to progress the technology to improve people's lives. His optimistic vision for the future is now a haven for violence and corruption. In this episode, we get an introduction to the mindset behind the E3 footage. The E3 trailer is 100% in-game footage, and we can expect the character models, environment, weapons, and vehicles to look as good, if not better than the trailer, as CD Projekt Red continues to work to polish the game. Next, we get a backstory of Night City, and how the initial idea of making it a modern-day Mecca has turned to rubble, and shows us not only how broken the city is itself, but also its people. This is Cyberpunk in a nutshell. As the main protagonist, it is no longer about saving the world, it's about saving yourself. In 2077, society is highly dependent on drones and robotics. From live feed camera drones to sparring robots and massive warehouse machinery. Huge automated trash collectors and robotic street sweepers can be seen any day through your window, if you're lucky enough to have one. Whether top of the line or pieced together from scrap, robotics serve a huge role in both the economic sector and everyday life. In fact, most public transportation services are handled by automated vehicles. The trains and buses are practically entities in their own right, able to communicate with each other and learn in order to improve efficiency. This episode contrasts the human struggle with the efficiency of robotics. Whilst one man may love robotics as it gives him a sparring partner at the gym without needing another human being, another may loathe them because a more productive robot has taken away his minimum wage job. Megacorporations may also run the means of production and hoard the quality products in making the robots, again creating a rift between the robots made on the streets by gangs and peddlers to the advanced military drones. Mega buildings are a prominent feature of the Night City skyline in 2077 and functions like cities within a city. Each serves as a microcosm for Night City at large. They are self-contained architectural behemoths that offer housing, food, firearms, medicine, and training. You name it, it's there. But don't mistake them for a futuristic realization of a utopian society. They share much of the same grit, grime, and danger you'd encounter out on the streets. Night City is a shining example of consumerism run rampant. No matter where you look, you're pitched a product and aspiration. Whether you're riding the metro, brushing your teeth, or pissing in an alleyway, the glitter, vibrant color, and allure of it all sucks you in. Advertisement saturation is a constant part of the sensory experience. Corporations are selling an unattainable dream, and the masses are buying into it hook, line, and sinker. Now, the perfect way to picture mega buildings and the idea of an entire dystopic ecosystem within them is to think of it the same way as the Peach Trees building from the movie Judge Dredd. Cyberpunk 2077 seems to borrow heavily from Dread in this sense, and I really do recommend watching the movie for this alone if you want a better idea on how they operate. With so much to do within the megastructures and V's apartment most likely being inside of one, I'm sure you can spend hours in the building themselves before even stepping a foot onto the Night City streets. Consumerism will be huge in this game, with everyone grasping for cyberware, upgrades, and new technology to make life more exhilarating for the upper class, as well as less miserable for the street dwellers. Walking up to the ads in-game and interacting with them gives you a navigation point to where they're being sold, and there are even vending machines in your actual apartment room. A glimpse of the chokehold the megacorporations have on Night City citizens. Lizzy Wizzy, controversial frontwoman for the band Lizzy Wizzy and the Metadwarfs, of which she is the only human member. For many Night City residents, crushing poverty and homelessness are significant and likely inescapable problems. Despite this, most are still entranced by the glitz of showbiz and luxurious lifestyles of the privileged elite. Breakthroughs in neural technology paved the way for people to share recordings of their own personal memories and emotions via tech known as Braindance. Some Braindance productions put actors in staged situations to create false memories to give viewers the feeling that they're living in an action film. Other Braindances are simple recordings of a day in the life of the world's biggest and brightest stars. The ability to become a celeb and experience a life of luxury gives many people a chance to escape their own miserable reality. As a result, Braindance addiction has become an ever-growing problem for the city's poor. Also, as with all forms of entertainment media, illicit Braindance recordings, or XBSs, can be found easily in the seedy underbelly of Night City's black market. Samurai, a legendary rock band for whom music was a way to rebel and fight the system. Now, Lizzy Wizzy has popped up a couple times in the trailer and in some of the information we've seen so far, so I'm gonna assume she's a big hit. The interesting thing here is that she's part of a band where she's the only human member. This gives us the possibility that the Metadwarfs could be a variety of things, from actually dwarves, to androids or robots, to humans augmented with exotics to the point where they're no longer human. Braindance is probably one of my favorite concepts from the game because of how real the contrast is to technology and internet addiction in this day and age, but taken to the maximum degree. Braindancing sounds like a mix between lucid dreaming and sensory VR, and if addiction happens so often to people using things like social media, which has a very small emotional response in the brain in this day and age, Braindance would be the pinnacle of addiction. Now, the reason they put Braindance with Lizzy Wizzy and Samurai the legendary rock band in the same episode is that popular Braindance experiences could be a day in the life of Lizzy Wizzy or a Samurai concert in front of thousands of fans. It makes sense that if we got our hands on these, it might have an impact on not only the users, but those who do the recordings. Illegal Braindances could be things that satisfy a more devious urge in experiencing what it feels like to murder someone, or be involved in a drug deal gone wrong shootout, for which the real-life consequences on users' mentalities are unknown. The main character V is also a rebel of sorts, rocking the Samurai jacket, which was a band led by Johnny Silverhand, who opposed megacorps of the past. V seems to follow in those footsteps of opposing the higher-ups, and although not a rocker boy per se, will probably use music as rebellion fuel. In 2077, technology has become omnipresent. It's used to automate industry, bombard the masses with incessant advertising, replacing human flesh and bone with circuitry and steel, and the list goes on. While cheap electronic devices and services are available to even some of the poorest members of society, most cannot afford to buy the newest toys or replace broken equipment. As a result, from a young age, many learn to improvise and work with discarded scrap to make repairs, to build their own diversions, and to craft their own weapons. Our character may not have a choice at moments in Cyberpunk 2077, but to scavenge and scrap together equipment for missions or quests called street stories. Finding and modifying our equipment, including our guns and cyberware, could be at the hands of a Ripper Doctor, stealing from a Militech cruiser, or simply scraping through a back alley dumpster to find anything that resembles something to give you the upper hand. That's it for this episode, guys. Watch out for part 2, where we go over more frame-by-frame episodes, and join the arcade for more Cyberpunk 2077.